Okay. So this is only my second or third time I'm doing a computer live, but I am trying it out. Let me see. Well, it's just going to take me a little bit to figure it all out. Okay, I think I got it. I know it takes a little bit to start, but if you're here in the future, I am going to probably cut all this, but I am going to clean up this egret drawing that I did on a live for Sketch a Day May. And then I will also do a little color, probably just color the a little bit of the background, a little bit of these guys here. Let me see if this is coming up and if I need to change any settings or if I broke anything. If anyone's in chat, if they could drop a, oh, I see hearts. So, okay, we are live. Awesome. Thank you, whoever's hearting. Oh, there you are, Stellafant. Awesome. Okay, I have a window here that's telling me we are not started, so I'm just gonna hide that window because I don't need that negative energy in my life. Okay, and then just give me 1 second. Let me fix my phone YouTube. And then I will start. We will work on this. I'll probably erase this crazy cat's tail. Is there another word for that? All right, search, sea monster, root channel. Here we go. All right, I do see me. Okay, I'm pretty far. Okay, there we go. I am going to erase some of this. I probably won't completely erase this cat's tail, but let's just for now get it, whoops, get it out of the way. Because I like the idea, but I just drew it, I think, like too big or too prominent. I'm just going to move it to the side for now. What I've done here, you probably can't really tell, but I've done a piece of paper, a scan of a piece of paper underneath the scan of the egret. And what that allows me to do is I can come in here and like this part that is a little rough, has a little smudge from my hand, I can just erase it. And there'll be paper underneath. It's just a clean piece of paper scanned at the same settings on the same scanner, and that allows me to do this, and you can't really see. There's not any real difference at all. Allows me to get my cleanup easy and out of the way. And I have a couple scans of, oh my gosh, and I have a couple scans of paper at different sizes for this exact reason, just so I can have something as like a blank canvas, so to say, so I can erase my mistakes digitally that I've made this way. Yeah, so I'm going to be cleaning up this egret. This is an egret I made a couple of days ago on my lives, and I'm going to be cleaning it up and giving it a little color, fixing the little rubber ducky, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. I have another couple of images that if this is going well, I'm feeling up to it, I might also give a little color, a little scan, but here we are. All right. Yeah, we'll color at least the legs. We'll redo the beak. I'm going to leave some of this background. Let me get some opacity, make my eraser a little bit less intense. And an egret's white. So we'll get rid of this smudges in the middle here. Just a little erasey, erasey, erasey. All right. This is just, I don't, did I make a pencil like with a compass? I do not, oh yeah, you can see the dot in the middle. This must have been a compass, but I do not remember making that circle there. I don't know what I was thinking. Here we go. So let's clean up the duck and get that nice and brightly colored. I think that could be really nice. Here we are. So we do have some spots where I went over. Whoop. Let's bring the hardness up a little, make it a little smaller. There we go. Tighten up this eraser. Yeah, so we do have a couple spots where I went over. Not too bad though. And I don't want to like erase the soul out of this. I just try to want to clean up mistakes more than I want to like make it perfect. Okay. Now I really love this water underneath him. So I kind of want to be careful to keep that looking real. So I think I'm actually going to keep this smudgy here. All right, so I am going to try a trick where I just double up the rubber duck color and drop it back on itself with a little transparency and to see how that looks, because that might be enough. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this layer so it's in exactly the same spot. I'm going to inverse and erase everything else. So now it's just the rubber ducky. And now I'm going to give it a multiply. So I think that's too dark for the whole painting overall. Come on. Okay, there we go. Too dark for what we have here, but it's a good start. So let's, something like that. I do like that. And we can always change its saturation. Here we go. We'll brighten it up a little bit. And we can even change the overall color, but I think that is fine. There we go. I think we'll do this for the rubber duck. I like it a lot. We could get rid of like some of the pencil you see on the inside of it, but I don't think that's worth it. Let's just come in here and really make sure we get this like background part. So right now I'm erasing the top layer because I should have done a better job. Okay, now I'm going to the original duck and I'm going to erase this kind of stuff, the smudge around the nose and the head and the tail. Whoop, and the tail here. Man, I am so quick on the undo, and I think a lot of artists are now because of just this is what everyone works in, right? So it's like using a word processor where you can undo your mistakes and then, or even just backspace, and then you start using, oh, hey, Jurassic World, how you doing? I did not see you. Sorry, I'm on the computer and the setup's a little different. I got a little hyper focused. And I think the latency is pretty high. So that's another problem. But really happy to see you. I'm going to erase this line where the scan has come together. And then I'm going to start coloring the legs because I'm doing like a lot of little tiny work that I think it does make the drawing better. Ooh, you can see right here a little piece of dirt. I don't know what got onto the paper. Something. Okay. Yeah, this is just, I had to stitch two scans together in order to make this work. Bye, Jurassic World. Thanks for stopping in. Okay. Yeah, this is a trick. You just kind of, there we go. Get rid of that line. All right. I'm going to quickly look up what color Egret's legs are. I think they are yellow. And then I think I'm going to give the water like a brownish blue coat, um, and then do the Egret's legs. Okay. I didn't look it up. I'm just going to do, I'll look it up. Maybe they're black. They are. Okay. I will leave the Egret's legs black. That was the proper choice. I should have trusted past me. I'll just give them a little touch up around the outside so that they really pop against the background. There we go, real quick. Nothing crazy. Okay, so now I really do think like a brown blue background for the water, like a wash almost, will look really nice. I'm going to create a new layer and grab a brush that I made for doing exactly this kind of thing, but with gray. So I'm just going to change the color of that to a nice dark blue. And I'm going to spin this because it's going to be easier for me to, whoop, there we go. All right, I'm going to spin this because it'll be easier for me to do it more accurately. Okay. Whoa. What is happening? There's this weird edge. Okay, that is very strange. There was a weird edge. I don't know where it was coming from. It's still there. That's super odd. There should be no edge. Huh. Okay, now there's no edge. Okay, I have no idea what caused that. I have been working in this program for decades. I've never seen that particular bug before. Oh, you know what? I've made a classic mistake where I started too zoomed in. And what that's done is meant I wouldn't be able to do it all in one paint stroke, brush stroke, which you want to do in order to keep the color consistent and keep it the gradient moving like smoothly from one to the other. Because I'll give you an example. If I lift my brush now, I'm finished. And if I lift my brush now and say it was like colored in this edge, you see you get this like between the interface between the two brushes, you get a little bit of that. I like to try to avoid that. I'm going to do brown on top of this, or maybe, what's the opposite of blue, like yellow, maybe like a browny yellow on top of this. And so it's going to, and I'll leave the, yeah, I'll do this greeny yellow. Yeah. And so for this one, I'm not trying really hard to keep it smooth, like a smooth gradient, and keep the brush all together. I'm going a little bit more rough. Okay. I think that's a pretty decent water. I like that. And let's do a little bit of background color. Yeah. I'll just kind of, it'll be the same kind of thing. Just a light dusting. So here I'm not really able to avoid getting the egret, and that's fine. I'm just going to have to come back in and erase some of the color that went over top of them. And that's totally okay. There we go. Let's bring the eraser. There's barely any. I tried. Yeah. And you could mask it off and everything, and that's something I would definitely do for a different painting. But I don't think it's, I don't think it's super necessary for this one because it's just that. We're not gonna get too crazy. Yeah, okay. So I am going to change the brush now to a pencil, or maybe chalk with buildup. No, I'm going to use this flat pencil, and I'm going to change this perfect to the complementary color of green, which is red, which is why Christmas colors look so good. I'm going to spin this over and just try to like get some of these lines here. Um, Not too many, just a little bit of texture in here. I feel like when you look at this type of environment, it is very much mostly green, but there are some shadows. You can definitely see some definition between plant stalks, and all of that is hard to convey uh, in an illustration. So I'm kind of cheating by using this complementary color. Uh, it, it will kind of really make it stand out. And so I can use less of it and just sort of create the illusion or even like hint at that there's something more complicated going on back there. Come on, there we go. Oh, I think that does a pretty good job. Okay. Oh, I lost my chat. Okay. Yeah, I'm still getting used to. I'm having a warning. Oh, it's saying my bit rate is bad. Hmm. Okay, it says it's back to being good. Sorry, YouTube just sent me a warning, which I've never gotten before on a stream. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good. I am going to now come in and color the egret's beak and legs. I am going to do the legs. I'm going to do it in a very dark green gray at the top as like a reflection of the surrounding green. I assume that there's green in front of the egret too, but we're not privy to because we're also there. I'll keep it dark because the egret's legs are black. I think I might even go darker than what I've chosen here, so I'm just going to put some black over top of it. Yeah, I like this a lot. There we go. Looking good. Oh yeah, so I must have cut out. If I cut out on the live stream, I'm sorry. YouTube just welcomed me back to the chat, so something's going on. Okay, so I'm coloring a sketch I did on a live stream a couple of days ago. I am going to, actually I'm going to get rid of this guy. Oh, nope. I have this cat's tail, but I don't think it fits into this drawing, so I'm just going to move it out of the way. Okay. I'm going to extend this drawing upwards because I think like right now we are seeing the top of the head is too close. So I'm just gonna bring it up a few inches to allow the egret's head top to breathe. Okay, so what we have here is my paper background is a little bit lost, but I will just copy that up. There we go. Okay, and now I'm just going to clean up the edge of where the two papers meet. There's two scans of papers there. Yeah, that's all. I scanned one in, and then I scanned one in that's blank in order to, oops, okay, that's fine. In order to make them match so that I could have a clean like plate in order to erase and still have paper beneath it and not just have like a flat white, or to ask AI to fill it in, or the other solutions that are out there. So this way it's the exact same type of paper. Sometimes it's even the same sheet. It's not really ever the same sheet, but it's the same exact paper that I use to draw all these things on. I have a piece of that scanned into the computer, and I use that as like the background so that when I erase these smudges and things, it's actually just still paper behind it. Okay, let me clean up the smudges around the egret's little beard into the neck. I'm always tempted to clean up some of these like stray pencil strands. I try not to do it too much, um, because I think that's part of the charm of these drawings. But if one's particularly egregious, or I want to make an example of it, I will. Right now I'm erasing right in here. Maybe I'm a little too focused on this right at this moment, but let's get this done real quick and then I'll go back to, there we go. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty good. Ooh. So, well, okay, there we go. I'm going to take this, I guess it's supposed to be a moon or something. I don't know why I put it there, what it was for. Um, I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of reflection in the, oh yeah, we talked about doing this egret's, whoa, beak. Gosh, I had a stutter when I was a kid. I did not know I had a stutter. I one time made fun of my brother, or I made fun of somebody. I didn't make fun of somebody. I wasn't generally that kind of guy. I like said, oh, like it would be terrible to have a stutter. Like sometimes I used to stutter like a little bit. I kind of remember that. And my older brother was like, sometimes. And apparently I stuttered all the time, and I just did not know. But my older brother, had a lisp, and it wasn't until somebody else told me that he had a lisp that I ever heard it. It's just how he spoke. I don't know. Okay. I'm just putting in some yellow over top of this. I'm not trying to erase what I did in with the pencils. In fact, I'm using a pencil textured brush to try to maintain that. But I just want to kind of brighten it up. The regular pencils on this paper, which is relatively smooth for a colored pencil, they just don't transfer a lot. And because of that, it can be a little underwhelming, the color. So I have it's actually a low opacity. I'm just kind of, there we go. And I'm actually going to bring in some black and redo some of this, but also as a colored pencil style. Just like there, a little bit there. We'll do the eye. Sometimes it's really good to have the eye be like very black and white, because if it's a black and white eye, because people look at eyes a lot. And so even if everything else is a little gray or a little washed out, having the eye be really popped out, like really important to like make sure that color stands out. So that's why I've just done that there. Yeah, I like that a lot. Oh my gosh, the chat's gone again. Hmm. Okay, I'm still streaming. There we go. This is a weird stream today. Oh man, I've made a rookie mistake, but I'm just gonna leave it. I have this color was meant to be on a layer, um, and it's not. It's just on the actual original layer. I try not to do that because if you want to make changes, or if you've made a mistake, or if you want to do the drawing in a different color set, like it's better not to have it on the same layer. But I did it. I feel like I've done too much work to go back and redo all that, and it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm still just cleaning stuff up. I do a lot of cleanup. That's why I tried this time to keep the smudges out. I'm going to clean up in between these. Just kind of come down like that. There we go. Give it a little. All right. I think this was pretty good. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? One last thing is I want to add the reflection of the duck and give him a little bit more of a color, because I think that worked really good for the beak. There we go, swatches, boom. So just kind of come in here. Oh, let's do more yellow. Yeah, here we go. Come in here and give him a little yellow here. Okay. Gonna be pretty quick. He's got a lot of green on his edges. I think that might just be, there's something called aberration. I can't remember exactly, but sometimes when you combine layers and you have different colors. Oh, wow, okay. And you have different colors, and like at the intersection of, especially digitally, oh, okay, stop doing that. You can get these, like you can see how some of this is green and some of this is red. Yeah, that's actually, it looks like it's from exaggerating some of the original scan's colors. So I'm just going to kind of erase that. Yeah, erase some of that. Or even just color over it with yellow. Okay, do a little orange for the beak, not the right color. Let's do this orange. There we go. Okay, and now let's fix the eye, because at some point I overcolored the eye. Don't want that. Like I said before, eyes can be really important because humans naturally look at eyes to see what's up. And because this is a like a not a living thing, and we want it to convey like the idea that it's a toy, we will leave the eye without the reflection, without the glint of life, basically. And that will, like that looks a little uncanny, and that's what we want. Oh, and that's what we want. Okay, yeah. Oh, and now I'll just add some, let me fix this. At some point I must have erased that without realizing it. It looks a little weird, so I'll just kind of try to fix that real quick. Same with right here. Okay, now I just want to come in here and with a different brush, this one. Wait, is this a different brush? Okay, I'm going to just choose it. I'm just going to come in and give this duck a little reflection in the water. There we go. I'm going to do the same with the egret. And then I'm going to do a little bit more green. This egret one, does that look okay? Let's just, oh, let's rethink that egret one. I think I went a little too hard. Okay. And now we'll do a little green. Oh, hey Jurassic World, welcome back. And we'll get the reflection of the reeds and stuff. Okay, I think this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, especially for like a quick color. I think there might be something. Oh, it's very, very blue-green. There might be something in coming in here, and like maybe doing something like this to sort of fill in the reeds in the background here. Ooh, you see what I've uncovered? There's this line here. You can see it, right? I'm just going to draw it with like a black pen or something. Yeah, there you can see it right here and right here. That's going to be on the original. When I combined them and stuck them together, they had some overlap there. No, it actually doesn't make sense. I don't know what this line is from. Oh, okay, I know what it's from. It's when I combined the paper. Aha, there's some overlap with the paper. There we go. Just make sure that, okay. Okay, I'm gonna just come in and do a little erasing in the center of the egret where I wasn't really paying attention earlier. Make it more white. There we go. And then I often come in and do a shadow layer. Ooh. Oh, hey Maya. Today we're doing coloring. We're almost done though, but welcome back. This is an egret. Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring some of these tail feathers and stuff, just kind of define them a little bit better by running a eraser through them like so. Sort of bring them out of the group. Okay, and now I'm going to try a shadow layer. Where I just come in with a pretty loose brush. What is this? Oh, I'm on erasers. I come in with a pretty loose brush. Whoa, that's too bright. Let me choose a better brush. There we go. I bring its opacity and its flow down into the low teens or single digits. And then I make it about this size, and I come in and I just kind of, it's red. Whoops. I make it black. And I just kind of, is it green? Have I chosen a green color? Yes. Gosh, I'm having a struggle choosing. You know what? The green is fine. That's in real life, this scene would be very green, so that's fine. Just kind of come in and very lightly do some shadows on things that are meant to be 3D, like that. In here, this wing is in front of anything that's in front of something else. The thing that's behind it gets a little shadow. This like crick in the neck, in order to make sure you can really tell that that's a crick, come in there and do that. Just help define any like odd shape, or make sure everything looks three-dimensional. It's not meant to be super noticeable. It's more to be like a hint for maybe your subconscious even. Sometimes I do it and I'm like, oh, you can't tell. It didn't do anything. And then I take it away and I'm like, oh, wow, no, it was good. I'm going to put it back, put it back. Okay. It's a little intense here. I kind of overdid it, I think. So if that happens, I'll just come through and I will make my eraser a delicate pencil eraser, give it low hardness, change its opacity down, and just kind of erase it more smooth. If there's a hard line, I messed anything up, and you can really see that there, like I drew some shadows with something. I try to come in and just bring it, dial it down a notch. There we go. We'll do the same here. Just little gentle adjustments back and forth. Zero in on what looks right, what feels right. If you erase too much, you always have a pencil. If you pencil too much, you always have an eraser. All right, here's the shadow. I'm going to try to get this full screen. I'll show you the shadow and then no shadow. This is shadow, that's no shadow. So I think it does make a pretty big difference. But it also, I don't want it to be like super obvious or anything like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Shadow, whoop, shadow, no shadow, shadow, no shadow. All right, this this turned out great. If I might work on this more, not on stream, I might come in and do just a little bit work on this background here. Whoa, it jumped around. Maybe I will go in and mask the bird out and go a little bit harder on the texture here. I do think I kind of shy away from going right up against the tail. But that's the beauty of layers, is I can come back, take this out, and just redo it. Let me find the other green. Okay, it's these two. Okay. Even without it, I think that looks nice, but I think with the green, it's very good. But my favorite thing that turned out is this water. I think this water looks really nice. I've not really done water in this style before. And there we are. This is coloring of the egret. Thanks so much for joining me. I will be doing another coloring of a sketch from Sketch Day May in next week. I'm going to aim for next Wednesday. I will try to put it up when I know. As a up and coming alive, make sure I save, control, save. All right. If you haven't liked, I would really appreciate if you liked. And if you haven't subscribed, same. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me live, either way. And I will see you next week. I don't know how to end it. Bye.